What if one of the most bizarre phenomena in quantum mechanics just didn't exist? What if quantum tunneling, a phenomenon that challenges our understanding of reality, suddenly became impossible? Today, we are diving into the quantum realm to explore its impact on the universe. Quantum tunneling is a phenomenon that arises from the principles of quantum mechanics, where particles such as electrons, protons, and even atoms and molecules behave differently than expected by classical physics. In classical physics, a particle is considered to be like a tiny solid object. If it encounters a barrier higher than its energy, it cannot pass through. For example, imagine rolling a ball up a hill. If the ball doesn't have enough energy to reach the top, it will roll back down. This is analogous to a particle being unable to overcome a potential energy barrier. However, in quantum mechanics, particles exhibit wave-like properties. This means that they are not confined to a single position but rather exist as a spread-out probability wave. When a quantum particle encounters a barrier, its wave function, a mathematical description of its quantum state, extends into and even through the barrier. There is a non-zero probability that the particle will be found on the other side of the barrier, even if its classical energy is insufficient to surmount it. The likelihood of a particle tunneling through a barrier depends on the barrier's width and height, and the particle's energy. While this probability might be very small, it is never zero, which is what allows tunneling to occur. The mathematical framework behind this is described by the Schrödinger equation, which predicts the behavior of quantum particles. Nuclear fusion is the process that powers the sun and other stars. It involves the fusion of light atomic nuclei, like hydrogen, into heavier ones, like helium, releasing a tremendous amount of energy. Protons, which are positively charged, naturally repel each other due to the Coulomb force, an electrostatic force that pushes similarly charged particles apart. For fusion to occur, these protons need to come extremely close together, within a range where the strong nuclear force, which binds nucleons together, can overcome the repulsive Coulomb force. At the temperatures found in the core of the Sun, millions of degrees, protons move with high energy but still not enough to consistently overcome the Coulomb barrier through thermal energy alone. Quantum tunneling provides a solution. Despite the energy barrier, the wave function of the proton extends into the barrier. There's a small probability that protons will tunnel through this barrier, allowing them to get close enough to fuse. Although the probability of tunneling is low, the sheer number of protons in the Sun's core, about 10 to the power of 38 reactions per second, ensures that fusion occurs at a steady rate, powering the Sun's energy output. Without quantum tunneling, this process would be exponentially less likely, and stars like our Sun would not burn as they do. Quantum tunneling is not only vital for fusion but also for nuclear fission and radioactive decay processes, where it allows particles to escape from nuclei despite significant energy barriers. Fission occurs when a heavy nucleus, like uranium-235, splits into smaller nuclei, releasing energy. For this to happen, the nucleus must overcome a potential energy barrier created by the strong nuclear force and electrostatic repulsion among protons. Quantum tunneling allows parts of the nucleus to penetrate this barrier, making fission possible even at lower energies. In alpha decay, for example, an unstable nucleus emits an alpha particle, 2 protons and 2 neutrons bound together. The alpha particle is trapped in the nucleus by a potential barrier created by the strong nuclear force. However, through quantum tunneling, the alpha particle can escape, leading to the transformation of the original nucleus into a different element. The probability of tunneling determines the half-life of radioactive materials, the time it takes for half of a given quantity of a substance to decay. The higher the barrier, the lower the probability of tunneling, and the longer the half-life. Without tunneling, radioactive decay would not occur as it does, and many elements would remain stable indefinitely. Quantum tunneling also plays a crucial role in chemistry, particularly in the mechanisms of chemical reactions and enzyme function. Chemical reactions typically require an input of energy to get started, known as the activation energy. In some cases, particles involved in a reaction might not have enough thermal energy to overcome this barrier. Quantum tunneling allows these particles to penetrate the barrier, facilitating the reaction at lower temperatures than would otherwise be possible. Enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up reactions in living organisms by lowering the activation energy needed. Quantum tunneling is a key part of how enzymes work. It allows protons, electrons, or other subatomic particles to tunnel through energy barriers during the reaction process, enabling biological reactions to occur rapidly and efficiently. Without tunneling, many chemical reactions, particularly those in biological systems, would proceed much more slowly, or might not happen at all under normal conditions. This would have significant implications for all biochemical processes, including metabolism, cellular respiration, and more. Quantum tunneling is not just a feature of nuclear or chemical processes, it also plays a role in key biological mechanisms. During DNA replication, enzymes called polymerases copy the genetic material. Tunneling can affect how nucleotides, the building blocks of DNA, are added to the growing DNA strand. The process of base pairing, where nucleotides are matched, can involve tunneling, especially in the case of rare mutations or mismatches. Mutations in DNA, which can lead to evolution or diseases like cancer, are sometimes the result of quantum tunneling. For example, protons in a DNA base might tunnel from one position to another, leading to a change in the hydrogen bonding pattern. This small change can lead to a mutation when the DNA is copied. The probability of such tunneling events is low, but over time, in large populations of cells, these rare events accumulate and contribute to genetic diversity and evolution. Without tunneling, the mutation rates would be significantly different, potentially altering the course of evolution or the onset of diseases. Evolution, the process by which species change over time through genetic variation and natural selection, is also influenced by quantum tunneling. Mutations are changes in the DNA sequence that can result from errors during replication or exposure to environmental factors. Quantum tunneling affects the rate at which certain mutations occur, particularly those involving the movement of protons or electrons within DNA molecules. Over long timescales, the mutations that arise due to tunneling contribute to genetic diversity within populations. This diversity is the raw material for evolution, as natural selection acts on these variations. The frequency and nature of mutations influenced by tunneling can shape evolutionary pathways, potentially affecting everything from microbial resistance to the development of new species. If quantum tunneling were not possible, the mutation rates would be different, potentially slower, leading to different evolutionary outcomes. The pace of evolution might slow, and the diversity of life on Earth could be reduced. Complex life forms, including humans, might not have evolved in the same way, or at all. Quantum tunneling, despite being a quantum-scale phenomenon, has vast and varied implications for the macroscopic world. It underlies the processes that power stars, sustain chemical reactions, and drive the mutations that fuel evolution. Without it, the universe as we know it would be radically different, possibly without stars, life, or the complex chemistry that allows both to exist. Tunneling shows how quantum mechanics, often seen as abstract or counterintuitive, is essential to the functioning of the universe. It acts as an invisible architect, shaping everything from the energy output of the sun to the genetic diversity of life on Earth. If quantum tunneling didn't exist, many of the processes that we take for granted would be impossible, leading to a universe that is colder, darker, and less dynamic. The existence of life, particularly complex life, might be improbable in such a universe. So the next time you ponder the mysteries of the universe, remember that quantum tunneling plays a crucial role in shaping our reality. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into quantum mechanics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating science content.